Bushcraft 412, and let's do an update on my Savage Edge, or the Access, which it's now been renamed to because of a trademark issue. I've done a quick review on this rifle earlier, but I've made some upgrades this Christmas, and I just wanted to show them off because, you know, this is an amazing value rifle. I got it for about $270, and this thing is a sub-MOA shooter at 100 yards. Very nice rifle. Only a couple real shortcomings, and hopefully I've taken care of those. I did put in, as a Christmas gift, the Rifle Basix Sav-1 trigger. The original trigger broke at about like 6.5, 7 pounds. Very stiff trigger, and it definitely was affecting accuracy. So I wanted to go with a better trigger, especially seeing this is my main hunting rifle, and I'm going to be using this for years and years because I just, you know, I'm in love with this gun. You know, if I could marry a gun, I'd be marrying this gun. This is my deer rifle, and so I wanted to spend the extra money and put the trigger in. The Rifle Basix trigger was about $85 and was a breeze to put in. Sorry I couldn't make a video of it, but I just, you know, I tried putting the camera up and I just couldn't get the angles right and the focus, and, you know, you just can't do it as a one-man show. But to go through it real quick, basically you take the stock off. There's 2 screws on the bottom here. Pull them out, and the trigger rests on a pin. You take that pin out, pull the trigger out, put the new one in. There's a spring you put in for the sear, and then there's a couple adjustment springs for the safety and all that. Putting it in is easy. It takes like 2 minutes. Adjusting it properly takes a little time because you have to make sure the safety is right. So basically what I did was you start out with 1 pin, which is basically the sear screw. You adjust it until basically the gun dry fires. Then you back it up a little bit, and basically the sear will catch on the trigger just enough to keep it stable. Then I went and did the same thing with the safety screw. Adjusted that until the safety wouldn't engage, and then backed it off. You know, and then of course I tested the safety over and over and over to make sure the gun did not fire and that the gun was safe and never fired with that safety. And that was the hard part, because it did take some adjusting to get that just right. And there was a lot of times where the safety would be on and the gun would still fire. Or I would put the bolt down and the gun would fire. So I had to do a lot of adjusting to get that right. And then there's a 3rd screw for overtravel, which basically you just adjust it until you don't have any more overtravel. And what we're going to do here, I know this is a gigantic pet peeve of mine, and I've complained about it in a million videos about dry firing guns. I hate dry firing guns. It's not a safe practice. But I do have a snap cap in here, so it's not going to harm the firing pin. And I've safety checked this weapon. It's 100% not loaded. Completely safe, I assure you. And I also want to say this is not my regular practice, but I'm going to dry fire this gun indoors. Yes, I'm cringing as I say it, because I think it's like the most unsafe thing to do, but I just want to show you how nice this trigger came out. And right now it is just 40-mile-an-hour winds and snow, and it's just not going to happen today or probably anytime this week, and I'm just too excited and got to show this gun off. So let's take a look at this trigger. Doing this one-handed is fun. Right now, as you can see, it is cocked and loaded. Safety, no problem. We can really, you know, shake the gun. It's not going to go off. Turn the safety off. We can slam the safety off. It's not going to set the gun off. And this trigger is set at about a pound, pound and a half right now. I've tested it with hard bolt closes, rattling the gun, shaking the gun, bumping the gun. It's not going off. I've even tried, you know, tapping the trigger, things like that, just to make sure, because I want this gun to be 100% safe out in the woods. Alright, so here goes. No over travel, no wiggle. This thing barely budges. It breaks like glass. I love this trigger. And it takes next to nothing to put it off. Like I said, about a pound and a half. I did have it set at the lowest, but, you know, I was a little concerned about safety because sometimes you know, the thing would go off, just like I would just touch it and it would seem to go off. So I just didn't feel that safe enough, so I bumped it up to about 1.5 pounds. This trigger is adjustable from about 14 ounces up to 3.5 pounds, so you can adjust it how you want it. And I have it on the lighter side, but right now I have it right where I like it. Very sweet trigger. As you can see from the pull, no over travel, no creep, breaks like glass. And my other upgrade, which is another gift, was this scope, and I just put a review up on the scope. This is a Redhead scope, which is a Bass Pro brand, and check out the video if you want to see it. But this is a 4.5 by 14 scope, 4.5 by 14 by 40, so I could use the same rings as I had before. But this scope right here, the one that came with it was pretty cheap. It was a 3 by 9 by 40. This here, so I can go up to 14. This one is clear all the way up to 14, which is nice. I guess the equivalent to this is the Tasco World Class. Decent little scope, very clear. And we're going to try and get you a peek down the it's a real tough one-handed, sorry. Sorry. Oh, there we go. But it's a, sorry, waste of time there. But very clear, very nice thin crosshairs, 30-30 crosshair. With these upgrades, I think this is really going to improve my accuracy with this gun. This gun was more accurate than me to begin with. There's people out there getting great accuracy out of this gun, and I guess I need to put more time in at the range, but I think this is going to be a massive improvement. And once we get some better weather, I'm going to take this puppy to the range and make you guys a video and see how much the accuracy improves on this with the new trigger and new scope. This is Bushcraft 412 showing off my upgrades on the Savage Edge.